Hello and welcome to Kump special announcement, bulletin, plea to the public. If you see anyone carving anything, I don't care if it's their name, I don't care if it's the Declaration of Independence, into a bullet, you tell someone. I don't know how to explain it. I grew up in a time when people, the thing they did with the bullet was the mess. They didn't write it on the bullet. That's how people felt back when I was growing up in the 1920s. We didn't, bullets, I think people used to think bullets said enough, but not anymore. You got to send the message, apparently, according to these people. I don't agree, but that's why we need to band together. And you have to tell someone. If you're at the grocery store and you see some questionable teen, some disaffected youth, some woman who wants health care, talking about, oh, I can't afford my insurance. I wish the government would help. Keep an eye. They might be writing on bullets. It's not going to be limited. That's the message I'm getting all over from everyone who will get in front of a microphone. These bullets are like codexes. They're like the Rosetta Stone for extremists. And this country's got no place for extremists. It's too much going on. We just can't have people writing, their MySpace profile and firing it through a rifle, and then causing carnage and horrible tragedies. All right? I don't care how much easier it makes the investigation. I don't care how much simpler it makes it.
And these messages, they're only going to get longer.
Yeah, we don't need copycats. We don't need guys firing just a few extra shots into some cement. What is going on, by the way? Are we able to read the bullets after they go in or through something, or is it only the unspent cartridges? It's just odd to me. If you're gonna why are you bringing the idea that you would bring so many to a site to do your dirty deeds? And
this guy, he had a whole manifesto.
He did have a manifesto. This the guy with the ICE facility.
Why would
tragically, sorry to the people who lost their lives, and I'm glad no ICE agents lost their lives. I really do. Take it easy on that.
Well, the two detainees died.
No, I said I'm sorry. I'm glad no ICE agents did. And I can. I said I'm sorry for them. I'm not.
It doesn't sound like you're trading lives.
Well, look, don't ask me a moral question. Who was this? The devil went down to Georgia or whatever? The fiddle? I'm not we don't need these trolley cart questions. I'm just glad the federal agents are okay, and I mean that. Everyone they're getting a little bit of a bad rap. I get it. For a minute, I'm like, why are they always wearing a mask and this? And I'm not gonna apologize for them for everything. I'm sure a couple, some stuff's going, but they've been doing it since the INS days. Apparently, they've been wearing masks. They have to operate in their own hometown. If I had to live in the town, go back to my hometown and podcast there, if I had a popular podcast, I wouldn't want to go around in the supermarket. And be like, why did you say that thing about the bullet carving? I'm like, I don't know. Can I get some? Just get a pound of turkey, please. And these guys, it's I get it. It doesn't excuse everything. Nothing excuses anything. That's not what this is about. Just stop writing things on bullets and then firing it on people.
If this guy was trying, if everything they say is true about this guy,
yeah.
That is one bungling terrorist. Going out there to shoot 3 ICE agents and then shooting 2 detainees.
You almost couldn't do a worse job from your own perspective. If that was your goal, and people are owning him on Twitter, and it just feels. And I'm not a suspicious guy. I'm not skeptical, but it almost seems like. It's like it's like trying to make fun of a guy who shits his pants at a wedding, like a video. Oh, I'm gonna dunk on him. He's already dunked on himself.
Yeah.
And then I'm not saying an assassination is a dunk. don't accuse me of being the insensitive man.
Did he shoot himself with the anti-ice bullet? I
think that was intact.
Okay.
They say it was carved. I don't. But some people are saying it was written in blue pen. I don't know. Mm-hmm. Early days. I don't think you should bother people who sell trophies, engrave rings. I'm not saying you should, but keep an eye out. I hopefully, they get like a Tommy Lee Jones from The Fugitive type guy to go to every outhouse, ring engraving, trophy store, beer fantasy football league, anyone with an engraving mechanism. Is that what they're doing? Are they doing like calligraphy into the bullets? I didn't think when the tragedy with Charlie Kirk first happened. I was like, this is horrible, and you just sense it. It's gonna be it's horrible for him and his family.
Yeah,
and it's gonna be bad for the country. It's gonna like a real tear us apart kind of vibe. And hopefully it doesn't, but it remains to be seen. Now, what didn't occur to me was that so much of our lives now will be interpreting bullets, like the actual bullets, not the caliber. I mean, I don't think anyone told us the type of bullet with Charlie Kirk, with a hollow point or with a full metal jacket.
I haven't heard that.
I haven't heard that. I feel like people are debating, not everyone, but some people are debating whether or not it should have gone, what just X amount of damage here or there. Should have gone, with that size bullet, should have blown up his neck instead of, all sorts of people are debating. And like, you would think we would know that, because that makes a big difference. Like a hollow point will kind of expand and do more internal damage. Well, a full metal jacket will go right through. Like in theory, a lot of variables, of course. And I'm not a gun expert, but we know, like the information that would be useful information. Now it's always useful to have it, to know what the killers do, right? Mm-hmm. But it's just strange. I would think more calibers and bullet type versus hopes and dreams and hate. In a bullet when we found the bullets,
right?
You know what I mean? It seems like a strange, we don't.
Especially in a world and a time,
right,
where you can record a video of yourself describing why you did this,
right?
You can write a post, send it out before you go. I mean, like there are so many ways to express yourself before you commit a horrible deed like this. I
mean, people were skeptical why he wasn't on X.com or Instagram or whatever, but apparently they say, well, he's on Discord. Okay, well, I mean, I don't know.
He's on Blue Sky.
Right? He's on LinkedIn. You don't know. You can never know what the youth are. I think it's always important for them, and by that I don't know who I mean, but it's important. It's always hard when the shooters or these men are young, because this guy was 40 or whatever. You go, well, we kind of he's got more of a foot, but the general public has a better sense of what he's about. No one knows what these Zoomers are into. They're all like, I mean, there's the furry. We don't like these overlapping furry culture, and then the groiping and the other, and then you have the trad cats and and then the greasers. It just seems like it's a lot of.
I wish there were greasers.
There'll be greasers soon. Yeah. They'll come back. I don't know why MAGA hasn't tapped into the greaser thing yet. I mean, do they think there was two on the nose? I feel like MAGA is like fine being on the nose, and that's not an insult. I've made my entire career very unprofitable by not being on the nose enough. I didn't mean that. So, I respect the hat design. I wish I could be. I would have been like, oh, maybe the font, and I would have been like, let me maybe make it big. And I would never. I mean, maybe I would release it 5 years after I lost the election. I don't know how to do certain things. So, respect. But I don't know why they don't invoke the font or James Dean. I guess James Dean's the more cool version of the font.
Greasers really just exist? I mean, were there real greasers? Are these things based on a real thing, or does this image come from the Pony Boys and the? No,
I think it's real to an extent. I think leather jackets were just I think something to do with bombing Japan, and we got a bunch of and then leather became cheap. I don't know the correlation. It's probably something to do with that, right?
Right.
Guys who like Elvis probably. It's like and then something to do with the beat poet guys. But like he's like, so what's this Ginsberg guy? What's he into? Ugh. Can we strip this away and just like this whole thing and make it a little more streamlined? Henry Winkler, come in here. Sit on it. That's all of culture. The people who push culture are not the people you want doing culture. And that's kind of plays into the whole thing with the youth. Like, these guys, the avant-garde, I think, used to be more, like we say avant-garde when you make when someone wears like a hamburger as a hat at Fashion Week. So avant-garde. But I believe that came from like communism or something, right? or the whole revolutionary era. We're at the political vanguard. Like, if someone tells you you're at the political vanguard, I don't know. Maybe go, make new plans. Tell me you don't need to be hanging out with people in the political vanguard. It's just they're locked in. If you're not locked in, don't hang out with people who are locked in. They'll just be on their phone the whole time, and you don't know what they're doing or what they're saying, and that's fine. It's America, but then they're not paying attention to the movie. They're not paying attention to weapons. They go, well, what's this thing with the witch and the kids? And it's like, I'm trying to watch the movie. I don't explain it to you because they'll put their head up. Do you know? I mean, there's a little bit of a tangent.
Right, yeah.
I'm just saying, they don't make the best political vanguard people.
But yeah, you're right. Like these youth, a lot of them, they seem to be defined by, they're wayward.
Right.
They don't have, they're undercooked.
They're undercooked.
People.
They're underfed.
But still, but overcooked by weird little subcultures.
They didn't get to go to their junior high prom, and I mean this, like we didn't realize how how much we used. Look, I'm guilty of this. We looked at the past and we looked at like structures, right? And we go, who is all again? Like we're talking about the 50s and we said the greasers were a post-war artifice. It was post-war propaganda. The American exceptionalism is a myth, but you need this stuff. You need someone constantly pumping you up and telling you that you're part of the war effort or the anti-communism. Mm-hmm. Without that, you get 20 years of good music and it all goes to hell. I'm not sure the trade-off was worth it. So I'm just saying, what was that response to? I was just saying. I go off the rails every second of the time. I'm just fucking.
But you're right. Like kids used to get groomed.
Right.
But they used to get groomed with kind of like a full identity.
Yes.
Like I'm the anti-conformist guy.
Right.
I'm the one who's going to go on the road and go west.
Oh, you're an anti-conformist. You should write for the New Republic. Oh yeah, rich kids. That's the thing. It's like, oh, you're an artist, which just meant you were gonna sell. You gonna do Coca-Cola ads. And then whatever.
But that was just the people grooming you. It's just like, here's a man in a dog costume. Does this make you hard?
Right.
It's like, do with that what you will, I guess.
What
if it makes you hard.
Right. Like all the actual artists in the past were like CIA kids, like the kids of CIA agents. Yeah. Now it's like, it's like we're actually, because of social media, we're allowing. Like the actual youth of America, not the children of case officers who overthrew Nicaragua or whatever. We're actual kids who have been bombarded with this crazy propaganda that isn't like as nefarious as you think. It's just horribly untested and is out for money.
Yeah.
It's just a bunch. I mean, the CIA is really a loose collection of guys. It's kind of like Goldman Sachs, but the money ceiling's like lower, but you do get to like topple some government sometimes, and it feels cooler. You get a gun. I'm not sure you get to carry it all the time, but Goldman Sachs, you can have a gun, but you can't carry it around in Cuba. We're getting lost in the woods here. Point is, you get these kids, and they're just kind of like they've gone crazy now, and some of them are just screaming on social media. That's the idea. Because I think there's not enough to go around. You would think there was enough land. But who knows what's going to happen with the global warming and the coastlines might recede because of global warming. So really the safest thing is just for all the rich people to kind of buy up all the land and push everyone else into like one state. That's the most pragmatic thing, I think. That's what seems to be the vibe over the next 50 years. They're going to use AI, robots, all that kind of thing. And then, we're just going to be, they're going to be like, look, they're just being safe here. And so the idea is, I think, to kind of pivot people onto like ranting on and tweeting and slurping and meowing, for the furry stuff, right?
Yeah.
The furry stuff can be fun. I mean, the sexual aspect of it, eludes me. But just a bunch of dudes walking around like with dog masks going woof woof woof. Right. I mean, I'm not saying I couldn't get into it. A couple beers, It's like if they say someone starts grabbing my crotch, I'm like, all right, no, that's not what this is. You do you.
You know, if I was at a wedding
Right.
and they were forming a conga line and they were
Right.
handing out a dog masks and leather collars,
Dude,
you know,
we
you
act-
don't want to be a.
You act like it's crazy. I mean, are you too young to remember Who Let the Dogs Out? That song was that song was astronomically big. Who let the dogs out? Woo, woo, woo. You know, and everyone loved it. Don't tell me you don't like. I'm not a furry. You're not a furry. Don't tell me you don't kind of. You know, there's an entry point of understanding here. Mm-hmm. So, you know, that's what I'm saying. Maybe someone needs to bridge the gap. Maybe I could, and maybe that's how we can make some money finally. Is I can maybe kind of pivot people. Just you know, be a furry, but you can also like deliver food to the elderly while you're doing it.
Yeah.
Imagine if you were like a service animal as a man. Interesting. Not, and I don't mean servicing in a nasty sense, if you know what I mean. Do you know what I mean?
Maybe.
Prostitution.
Oh, okay.
Before we go any further, can you please like and subscribe and comment and say how much you love it? If you do, I don't want you lying. You know, but if you do like it, just don't feel shy. You know, right. And what animal would you be in a platonic furry, collegiate environment? In a secular platonic furry propaganda exercise.
And don't act like you don't have an answer.
Right.
Because everybody has some kind of answer for what animal they would be. It's not that different.
I hate picking favorites more than anyone. Like in the sense of like I have a philosophical thing. What's your favorite movie? Like, I don't like to pick. Everyone knows what it is, but I don't actually think of it. But I have one. It's just whatever. It's whatever you would think. It's like don't think about it. What is it? There you go. Mm-hmm. And I could pick it. And I would be a sloth.
A sloth?
I would be a sloth.
A sloth furry? I don't think I've seen that one yet.
Right, because it's not the most. I don't think it would work in the bedroom.
Again, like another one of these lifestyles.
Right.
That it's oddly conformist within its boundaries.
Yes.
Like it's like we're doing something radically different from what other people do sexually.
Right.
But we're all basically a dog.
We're all puppies. Hey, if you gotta go, you go in the giant litter box.
Yeah.
We're not animals. I thought we were. I'd be that guy. I'd be the guy ostracized from the furry party. I thought we were animals. Well, we're housebroken. All right, I'm getting old though. Sometimes when dogs get old, they kind of lose the housebroken part, right? I'm role playing here.
But I think a sloth would be really good. I mean, you would really shake things up with a furry sloth outfit.
I think it would be great. I would kind of pretend to hook to walls. I'd be like, I would just be kind of, you know, people have to kind of move me around.
It can't just be like you got to have those crazy long arms and claws.
Oh no, it's gonna be well at the very least. I mean, I kind of like the idea of being the furries who have just a mask and then the hand things, the gloves. When you start putting it on like a Barney costume, it loses the vitality of the youth. It just feels like a bunch of. I'm just assuming everyone's like 60 years old inside, which is I don't care, but it's just I don't need to be hanging out with like, you know, if it's not helping my street cred, you know, that's not a good demo. It's not a good advertising demo. 65-year-old man who dresses like Barney. They don't buy. I don't know what is even the thing that like that's such a coveted thing, right? 18 to 35-year-old male. I think it's one of the big ones. Women are also very big. Mm-hmm. I don't know what they're selling. Is it Doritos and Red Bull and like Monster Energy drink? I don't know what they always talk about that. You know, like if you have any interest in like ratings, which I don't. I'm not. I mean, there's so much LARPing about people's ratings nowadays. Whatever.
Yeah.
We're getting lost in the woods here. There's also a Patreon. Patreon.com/RayComp. You get an extra episode every week. That's just the ad. People, other people are like, hey, buy life prison. Buy life prison so you can keep your life in the prison so no one can steal it from you. Do you feel like your life is getting away from you? Well, put it in prison. We're life prison. And I don't do that. You know why? Because they won't pay me to do it. One day, God willing. Oh, so what were we talking? We were talking about your birthday is coming up. Very exciting.
That's right.
And so I'm very excited for. And you have I told you to come up with something that you to get you. I've given you plenty of. I've given you plenty of gifts in the past. They were good.
You've given me lots of wonderful gifts.
Some of them aren't the most. I mean, I feel like they were good. I don't feel like I screwed up or anything. But can I say?
Yeah, sure.
I got you like a Kindle. When the first years we were together, and this wasn't your thing. Oh, she loves books and this and that. But you never know with a woman. You think you have a perfect gift. She'll say it's great. She'll say it now. I love it. I've never seen her read it once. It's fine. So, look, I
don't want to be that person who's like the smell of the book or whatever, but
no.
it's part of it.
Yeah.
But I did like the Kindle.
No, I know you like it. I'm just saying, but how? I'm just trying to. Cause I don't need people coming at me in the comments going, "Why don't you come up with your own idea for a gift for your wife's birthday? You piece of shit! You fucking what? Is the magic gone? Is the romance gone? You have to. What is she have an Amazon wish list? Is that what I'm saying now? Amazon wish list? God. Hey, Jeff Bezos, give me some money. Amazon.com. So I'm just preempting those people. Don't worry. A lot of what I do is strategic, and I know what people are going to try and attack me on. But yes, you have.
It makes sense. You're a very conscientious gift giver.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna take it easy on you this year. I'll just tell you what I want.
Sure.
I would like a surveillance drone.
Ooh, a surveillance, not just a drone.
Every family needs one.
Interesting. So not just a drone, but a surveillance.
Yeah.
Are you looking for military grade, or can it be the ones that
I'd like to be able to spy on a country. I'm not looking to circumvent a major country's security apparatus with this thing. But maybe a small country.
Oh, so you want? I mean, we're talking about a serious. I don't know if I can afford that.
I just like to keep my eye on one. People.
I think these things usually have like a 10-mile distance radius or something, or maybe even 100. But that's, I mean, Canada's like we're like 1,000 miles away from us, right, or less. I don't know. I don't know how geography works. But all right, I'll see what I can do. I'll look into it. I'll help us out if you know anywhere I can get. I'm not sure that might be illegal to ask. Hey, where do I get a military grade drone to spy on other countries? I think you're in danger of breaking the Logan Act, or perhaps the Espionage Act, at least. Imagine if you got put in federal prison, probably me actually, for circumventing the Logan Act. I think it's for politicians who or something. I don't know. It's no good. What country were you even thinking of?
Morocco, maybe.
Morocco. It's like practically Africa. It's very far away. You didn't want to baby step and go Canada first? What are you afraid of there being in Morocco?
No, nothing in particular. I'm not afraid of Morocco. That's the whole point.
Oh, so you just impose. That's why you just know that's a great.
This is my will to power.
That's a great point. If you notice how the United States has operated for many years, we don't tend to mess with countries that can fight back very easily against us.
Exactly.
You don't pick fights with the bigger guy. So Lucie is like, no, I'm going. You're less. It's less about recon and more about you want to be the big brother of Morocco.
Yeah, it's also just a nice way to see the world. I think it's like people. We watch Jeopardy. People are always talking about traveling on Jeopardy.
Right.
These Mormons who play Jeopardy, but it's and it's like I want a little bit of that action.
Every person I've met who's gone to Europe, one of these old towns, like Nice, Paris, all these old towns, these beautiful buildings and the architecture, these amazing facades. And they showed me this picture. I go, that's a beautiful building. I go, yeah, but wait till you see the top of it. That's what you need. The top of the building. That's where it's at. I get it. And the tops are nice. I mean, America, I feel like we've lost the art of tops. We're not tops in this country anymore.
We're not top heavy anymore.
And but there are roofs over there. But we're not talking about Europe. We're talking about Morocco. What do they have there? It's like Tunisia. I don't know. Is it it's kind of that's what you want to get the drone for, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, because they'll show you a movie I feel like every episode that I bring up Jason Bourne, but like a Jason Bourne type movie where he's in Morocco and they'll say it's Morocco, but then actually they shot it in Hungary. I was like, oh, so what you get there and Morocco just looks like New Jersey, and this is not what. So the drones can be very good for that. I agree,
and it's just a way to put yourself out there. It's a way to say I'm here. I'm a
I'm an entity.
Right. You'll never see me. Yeah. I'm like a shadow. Like a spirit. It's best to think of me as a spirit realm.
Right.
I can get to you, but you can't get to me. It is like a. I feel like that's a lot of. There's a big push for that with spirits. You know,
spirits.
Yeah, like Megyn Kelly was talking because
oh yeah, when were people talking about demons now?
Right. I don't know if it's directly because of the Jezebel art. So Jezebel, I think. Look, I don't think I brought it up, and it actually falls into what we're talking about. I think we've been hacked by a very powerful hacker, like a government hacker. Because right for this episode, we can't really play archival stuff because that computer is like the internet works everywhere else, but not that. Someone downloaded a packet. Because of maybe stuff we said they didn't like. Who could it be? I don't know. But the point is so I can't play it. But what was I talking about? I swear to God.
Demons.
Spirits. Right. So but there was I'm sure many people have seen it. The Jezebel article that came out a few days before this tragic shooting, where they put a hex on Charlie Kirk. Okay, we got some witches.
In death? They put a hex?
No, I think before.
Oh, before it happened.
Right, or something. Was it about Charlie himself? You know what I'm talking about, right? The Jezebel article?
I actually hadn't seen that one. But, okay, so some witches put a hex on Charlie Kirk.
Yeah. Let me just pull it up so I'm not, slandering people 3 weeks later. Everyone else already covered this, and I'm just like, I'm getting the facts wrong. Let's see. Jezebel...
I remember this coming up after Trump got elected the first time.
Oh, is this something they do all the time?
Certain women of the Wiccan community were putting hexes on them.
Right. Yes. So here it is. Erica Kirk generally rattled after Jezebel paid witches on Etsy to curse husband Charlie 2 days before he was assassinated.
Wow.
Now I saw that day, and I'm not someone who tends to be very much like my eyes always go to the temporal realm. I tend to focus on the demons who are alive in flesh. But you could accuse me of being whatever you want, heathen, non-believer, for dismissing that sometimes. But maybe there is something to it. I don't know. Enough weird things. There's enough weird coincidences and patterns in the world, and like one of two things is possible: either a small group of it could be a multinational small group of people control who are wealthy. Don't get me wrong. I'm not, many countries, but I'm saying, but rich people control most of what's happening behind the scenes. That's one. Or there's angels and demons, and it might be both.
It could be a little bit of both. I mean, have you ever been a ghost boy? Do you believe in ghosts at all?
No,
not at all.
Well, I used to be very much religiously paranoid. I've talked about this a lot, where I would just pray compulsively if anything came up. I'd live in anxiety, and it was kind of meld with I was also a bad student, not stupid student, but just didn't do my work, and some people don't do their work and they still end up going to MIT. Well, I didn't go to MIT. All right. Take that for whatever it's worth. So Sunday nights were always terrible. Because I have this, I guess that's Catholic guilt, but also I didn't do my homework, and I would just be like, and I would just start saying my prayers and being really nervous. I would freak out about having nightmares about the Katie Beers thing.
Oh wow.
There was a girl who was kidnapped the day I was supposed to go to Spaceplex. I was supposed to go to Spaceplex, which was an arcade, the same day that a girl named Katie Beers was kidnapped from Spaceplex. She wasn't, though. But that was a story for a week or two until they found her in this dungeon this guy made. He was a family friend or whatever. Some family friend, right? And he never actually took her there. He just made that story. That was a ruse. But, but regardless, these are traumatic things.
Yeah.
And I would compulsively pray, and I like Saint Michael the Archangel because he's the one who would spear the devil, and he was a big tough guy.
So you were always asking him, spear that devil for me.
Spear that Saint Michael, Saint Michael, spear the devil.
That's actually cute.
Yeah, it's like the kid from Gangs of New York. Who's that? Saint Michael. I think the one time I don't lisp is when I try to impersonate someone who does. But yeah,
I love how even when you were a child, praying to God, I can't imagine a thing that's more innocent.
Yeah,
you were just like stab him.
Yeah, it's not like anyone trained me to fight or do anything. I think in the military. It's just more like I like to fantasize about me just lashing out against the hacker. Oh, so there's that. So no, but but then when I kind of got away from that, by just kind of like, I basically at some point in my life shut down that anxiety, but also any caring about my material success or life or doing any homework or I just kind of made a lot of problems for myself. But but I wasn't scared anymore. How about you? Were you a ghost person?
I have never seen a ghost.
Yeah.
Never anything even close.
Right.
But some people who I don't consider insane, have claimed to have seen ghosts.
Sure.
I figure not all of these people are suffering like schizophrenic episodes.
No,
unless it's just way more common than that's just way more common than I think it is.
People will look at you right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right in the eyes.
It just kind of seems like, just from like sheer overload of anecdotes.
Yeah.
It's like maybe a few of them are real. Maybe there's a few ghosts. Maybe there's just like a leftover, like a little blip. I
hear what you're saying, because people will look at you without any irony in their eyes, and without that look, that's we all know the crazy look, the crazy girl look. Mm-hmm. She's got that spittle on the corner of her mouth and a little bit of glaze in her eyes. Mm. Not that, not some guy who seems like he's had a few more trips to the bathroom than he might have needed, if you know what I mean, at the birthday party. Just regular guys who are sober-minded, who will tell you about their experiences, or how they're very surprised that you don't believe in the metaphysical. Is that the right word for it? It's actually a realm. Mm-hmm. It's almost like if you could make a portal, it's happening. It's not an analogy. It's not something that happens when you die per se. They're fighting.
Right.
They can be here right now. I'm not even sure how that's supposed to work per se. But I've never personally invoked these demons, so I never even though I'm a skeptical guy, I never liked that. Mm-hmm. I never don't want to tempt fate in that respect.
Yeah, why mess around?
It's like I feel like maybe when they talk about people who don't need God or whatever, it's like I think some people just when they don't have religion, they just kind of not everything is just it's all just a joke. But I always felt when people say oh, it's not even AA, it's well, God can just be a higher calling. I always thought that was a weird thing to say, but maybe I have that because I always thought this doesn't seem like it needs the. I feel like I need to request a demon, as a joke.
Yeah,
but people do. People, and then sometimes they get cursed, or not. It's just very odd to me.
I wonder if the witches who hexed Charlie Kirk.
Right.
Do you remember in that article if it mentioned if they felt bad when he actually died?
I don't think the New York Post was able to.
Because the hex could be all kinds of things.
Well, do not throw our lot in with the witches who hexed Charlie Kirk, please. We don't need any I'm all for nuance, but I mean, come on, we don't. I'm
not trying to defend their honor.
This is trying to defend Zarqawi the day after 9/11. It's well, we don't know. Actually, it was Khalid Sheikh Mohammed's idea. We don't need to be part of this.
I wouldn't try to defend the honor of women who would mess around with hexes. Yeah. I think at the very least it's nasty fixation. It's nasty business.
Right.
If anything, you should be focusing on all your energy on that person having a change of heart.
Right.
But some good witch shit. But
right.
I wonder if these people believe in good witches.
Well, I mean, I do think there's look, if you listen to the woke culture, you listen to the people who read history at all, that it seems like a lot of this witch talk really stems out of just not just men, but just religious people, just kind of who's that weirdo, or just you got in the way. It was a lot. It was a convenient way to kind of get people. I think most people believe what they profess to believe, but then if you're that's why sociopaths are so dangerous, Because most people can't just live their life as a lie. You know, they're just sitting around going like, hey, how do I'm going to pretend to be Catholic or whatever to like try to make people feel bad. That's not their goal. Like, you know what I mean? I'm not saying that, you know, there's some religious stuff can't be hurtful to other people, but whatever. But that's not, most people aren't that. But there's a lot of sociopaths out there. And I've encountered them lately. But I mean, the idea is that like you have this whole system of angels and demons and witches and butlers and you know, whatever. I don't know why butlers are in there, but you know.
Yeah.
Butlers are always, I feel like they have extra knowledge, like secret knowledge. We'll get to that maybe later. But the point is that, you know, that you go, hey, like maybe I can, you know, if I tell everyone this guy's, you know, wife is a witch, then, you know, makes him look bad too. I mean,
well, yeah.
Yeah. The only pain in this story is that like, you know, women didn't tend to own land back then, so maybe it wasn't as like, you know, they probably tried to get men as like labeled as warlocks, but it didn't really stick, you know. But you know, maybe you messed with a woman and she tried to talk about it, like, you know, you did something, you tried to dip it in the, you did something nasty for a woman, and she wasn't happy about it. And then she went to the village, the local duke, the noble. And I'm like, yeah, wait, she's obviously a witch. Things like that, right?
Right.
You know, so it's hard to tell from history.
Yeah, and you're right. Like a man probably in those times would be more likely to just like hit back, you know?
Yeah,
you're saying I'm a warlock? You're a fucking drunk.
Yeah, you're a Capuchin monkey or something. I don't know why I call that. I guess that's what I'd be as a furry. Yeah. Like cappuccino monkey, whatever. They go, what? I don't know. My uncle was an explorer. Don't worry about it.
The woman would be more likely to let's just go through the system.
Yeah.
I'll be able to clear my name.
Right. And it doesn't work.
I'll just be able to act reason. They'll know I'm not a witch.
Women really, and look, to be fair, I know we can blame the patriarchy a little bit, but also women historically, I don't think have been the best orators. They're not the best debaters. You know, so
it's a fine line sometimes how aggressive you can get.
They don't know how they're coming off hysterical sometimes, and so they go, you know, I'll just explain myself, and it goes really poorly at the trial. And look, they'll be a little closed-minded, but also the woman could have been a little more, you know, a little more logical, maybe. To be fair, whatever. I mean, you know, they weren't selling Play-Doh books in the bookstore back then, so it wasn't as widely available. I think, you know, everyone's kind of evened out a little bit in modern times. Yeah, but to the matter of the day, though, the war between angels and demons, and I guess sub-demons. I don't know what canon demons are in the Catholic religion, for instance. I know there's saints, and there's angels, and there's different types of angels. There's seraphim angels, and then there's archangels. I'm not sure if that's, you know, and then there's a guy with a sword, St. Michael. I think he was an archangel. Those are like the Delta Force, the best angels, and SEAL Team 6. Yeah. You know, the Eddie Gallaghers of angels. And then, yeah.
I remember
cherubs.
When I was reading the Brothers Karamazov, which is an Orthodox Christian narrative. There's a chapter in it with where a bunch of devils take over an apiary in a what do you call it? I don't know what it's called, but like the place where monks stay.
Oh, an
monastery
abbey.
Or abbey or something like that.
An abbey, yeah.
And like they're kind of like just critters. Like they don't really have personalities. They're just like kind of
the monks.
The devils.
Oh, okay.
The demons. Like they're just kind of like
This is what I'm talking about. Back, you know, like Dostoevsky's like, I think the bed bugs are demons. It's like, all right, well, that's not really helpful. They're a nuisance for sure. I think we impose like sentient evil into them.
And there's this one guy who's like he fasts a lot.
Yeah.
He does like, you know, he's like better at fasting than the other monks.
Right.
And it makes him holier.
Yeah.
And so he can see the devils even though nobody else can.
Right.
And it's kind of like he can't really get rid of them. He just like kind of notices that they're there, and I guess that helps him like avoid them. Like you would avoid a rat or
That's
something.
all we need. Look, I'm okay with these things being put into the world. Because they can kind of fill in the cracks, right? Kind of like, you know, the way Friedrich Hayek would talk about the economy. You know, how why planned economies and socialism can't work. Because, you know, hey, you know, I have a freight ship, and I have like a little extra here, a little extra in this space, and I can sell that. But no government is going to plan that. It's a very short summary. But the point is, demons and angels can fill those gaps spiritually. Like, hey, like you can be a greaser, and you can believe in America, and you can believe in capitalism, and mostly it's good. But what about the homeless guy? And there really isn't a good answer. A lot of people look, you can try to help people. Some people can't be helped. Some people, it's just a bigger thing. It's healthcare. Put them in a mental institution. It's very hard to put people in mental institutions now because a lot of things, civil rights. I'm not blaming it's like it's a balancing act in society, right? For liberty versus this. So maybe it'd be better if we just go, he's just got demons. Just demon took him. A demon took this man, and that's why he doesn't like Holmes anymore. He doesn't like Holmes. The demon has got his head in a work, and it's tizzy. He worked up, and he's like, I can't. The one thing I hate the most? What's that, sir? Holmes. Don't love him. Don't love Holmes. And it's just like that might be a better way to kind of, because look, I don't think we're gonna fix anything much. Mm-hmm. We'll do here, we'll do this and that. But we've kind of gotten the world, we're better off than we were 100 years ago, mostly. Not in all ways, but a lot of ways. Maybe not spiritually, I don't know. I'm not a pope. But, we're like materially, a lot of people are more free. They have more choices. The economics work better, the stable at least. People, I wish we could live in a plantation. I don't tell you. I'm not the guy. I don't run stuff. And also, I disagree. But point is, I think we've done everything good we're gonna do. So yeah, we can use these demons as like a kind of like a good way to get people back on like a good footing mentally. Propaganda is actually useful. You see it whether it works. Everyone blamed Edward Bernays for years, the guy who invented the idea of propaganda, basically, or the modern version of it. He was the nephew of Sigmund Freud. Mm-hmm. I mean, I used to always this guy, and he got people. He like built this whole PR industry and used it to make war and sell war and all. Yeah. But I mean, you see what happens when that all breaks down.
Yeah.
Chaos. Just chaos. The demons can save us, ironically.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a simpler way of looking at things. You know? Like it's like you see a guy tweaking out on the street. Yeah. It's deep. There's something comforting about that. Right. Just being like, it's a demon.
Well, that demon's got him good, doesn't it, son? He's got a little demon. Look, son, look at that demon work. Some of you got, look, I don't like demons, but sometimes you can admire the quality of their work. They're very good at their jobs. Evil as their jobs are. That's what I said to my son. I mean, I wonder
if it has ever it probably has helped people in the past.
Yes.
It just like, you just got a little demon.
Here's the thing.
You got a little guy inside of you.
He's
driving you around like one of those little parasite bugs.
Societies are good. Civilization is good. Trading is good, right? Mm-hmm. It's better than war, right? Like it's just good to be part of society. So if you got to tell a few lies to make society work, mm-hmm. it's better. Now, we get into a lot of trouble with that. Yeah. It's like, I get it, but the deception. I spent years, railing against, coups that, who do I care? But it's wrong. I was told that we were an exceptional nation and we're just doing coups. And it's mm-hmm. What's it gotten me? Immaculate drip? Yes. A beautiful wife? Sure. An artistically fulfilling podcast? Yeah. But, the demons can really put me over the top is my point. And the angels. But really, the angels are there just to kind of balance out the demons. The demons are much like, communism or the Red Scare, whatever it is. That's what really is the motor.
In general, it seems like the people who get really into demons, they're a little bit sharper than the people who get really into angels.
Yeah. No, you need a release valve. You need hope. You need what seems to be anecdotally, without scientific study from me. I'm not a PhD sociologist, but what seems to me to be the perfect kind of mixture, broadly speaking, is a lot of demons and a couple of angels. The lottery, mm-hmm. The lottery really is kind of keeps people weirdly just keeps them going. I have a demon of skepticism. Where I go, I'm not going to win. I could have won. If I played every week, maybe I would have won by now. It does happen. You can't win if you don't get in the game. It just doesn't pay any good to be. When people say "Oh, you're too smart for your own good," they don't mean a guy who makes a rocket and the rocket somehow screws them. They mean a guy who like me, who's basically I'm overthinking stupid things. Anyway. I'd love to. Maybe we get a priest on soon. Talk about this. Because I have the exorcism stuff is very interesting. When you see it in real life, some of these people can be a little more questionable. I'm not going to, vouch for everyone, but then you hear,
The problem is it's very easy to villainize a person.
Right.
By saying they're full of demons.
Yes.
Or they are a demon.
And you go, what about, how do you explain, though, Kump, all these intelligent men throughout history that have, like, there are a lot of men who are very religious and also, like, on a secular level, very brilliant, right? Mm-hmm. And go, like, people you wouldn't think, but they believe in this stuff. And like, so, like, that's what intrigues me about it. It is very possible that the answer is, how do you explain that? They're all in the CIA. It's right, or other, the Finnish intelligence service, perhaps. Whatever. Speaking of war type stuff, Pete Hegseth. Is it Pete Hegseth or Peter? I don't want to be. He is the Secretary of War. I don't want to get in his bad side. Is it Pete or Peter Hegseth?
Pete, I think.
I don't feel like I would call him.
Just call him Pete.
He's gonna use the war against me. he's gonna go to war with me. Fine. Pete Hegseth has apparently called a very big meeting at Quantico, which is like where the FBI trains people. I think like their school, and like it's where like the Marines have a big thing. I don't know what the. I'm sure. I guess it must be a great place with a lot of like I don't know. It must be the place where everyone who does anything with guns likes to go. Maybe it's just got a mountain that looks like a bullseye. And it's like, this is cool. Whatever. They're going to go a ton of people, and people are speculating that's going to be a big war. The Iran thing, everyone thinks it's done, but then other people go, no, we're not done. We're not done with Iran. I thought we were done. I thought you made so they can't have nuclear missiles. Like, we didn't care about that. You didn't care about that. Interesting. Because he said you did. You heard any of this? Right. Am I just on the wrong subreddits? So there's gonna be some kind of meeting with a lot of Pentagon officials, other people, generals, and who knows? Maybe they're just planning a birthday party. People love to pick up, sense and go crazy. But it got me thinking. We don't know yet, and I don't want to speculate about like World War III. And World War III, I feel like it's been too long since World War II. It's kind of like I'm sure we'll win. I'm much more curious, especially if World War III is going to happen soon. It's not going to be the big one. I don't think. I'm more interested in World War IV. World War IV, like World War I was
ahead.
Well, look, I mean, World War I was a big deal. I know there's a lot of carnage, but World War II was a real show. Like World War I was just guys like, I mean, it was like the first big war since the Industrial Revolution. Don't quote me on that. I don't know if that means that's true, but it was a big one. It was the first one that would have machine guns, I think, big machine guns. I mean, the Battle of the Somme, like the British lost like 100,000 guys in like in a second or a minute.
Right.
Like, it wasn't a nuclear bomb. They just kept like. So what
you can kind of see like pictures of like early when people were first going to the war.
Yeah.
And they were still kind of like dressing in that really colorful like military plumage.
Right.
Of like the wars of yesteryear or whatever.
Yeah.
And then they were just getting thrown into a meat grinder.
Right. Like I didn't go to the war, but like what seems to be a thing is like you need good morale. And morale means I think basically, you trust the guys around you and you trust the people in charge. Like they know better than you. Mm-hmm. And so, like, the Somme, what happened was they kept sending wave after wave of guys up from one trench to the other, and it's getting mowed down with machine guns.
Right.
And then I guess they would go to the general and they say, mow another wave down. Yeah, really? Well, send another. I guess the machine gun might jam this time. Right. And it never jammed. And there's 100,000 guys died or more. So crazy. And it changed a lot of things in Britain. And so a lot of guys, went to the, to the meat grinder in the sky, unfortunately. R.I.P. But World War II had much more characters, much more ideology, had the big nuclear bomb at the end, a lot of wild stuff. Mm-hmm. And I'm wondering what assume, we're going to go to war for Iran, but people fighting over Iran. But no one's going to I don't think people are going to go to the mat. But in like 30 years, when these rogue AIs become a thing, and when people are, people aren't really augmented yet. You have some guys with cyber legs, but like, I'm talking about wings. I'm talking about like, a guy with a head twice the size of a normal head that can just, why does that help? brain's bigger, eyes are bigger, nose is bigger, like everything's double. You know, a guy whose like hand is a grenade, and he can throw his hand, and like you get a new hand later, but you don't have to carry. It's just, and you think, well, what's that going to do? One extra grenade can make the difference in the right context. That's what I would do if I was a hand salesman in dystopian cyberpunk store, where I like tell these guys, hey, you don't know, look, one extra grenade. Tell me that when you got your hand, and I don't know. I'm not a great salesman. The guy doesn't buy it. Well, I mean, I'm saying, but really, what do you think is going to be the bigger war? The bigger deal is my point. This is a thought experiment. It occurred to me. And I'm not trying to be like, do I want to kind of like lock in World War IV for anyone else? Yeah, I'd like to be first at one point in my life. For fucking once, you know? It'd probably be with China, right? Because China's a big bad boy. And
that makes sense. Do
you think Russia is going to... I mean, Russia might not really make it through World War III as a big dog. Maybe it gets broken up. Maybe it's I got no reason. I'm not throwing these guys who's like, we got to take Putin down. Oh, whatever. He's not a good guy. Oh, he's not? Interesting. But he runs a country. I'd like to know who... Do you think like those are probably the big two? Is there a third besides Russia? Do you think someone might pop up?
I could see Israel going down in World War III, but then kind of regathering and coming back.
Is this why your internet doesn't work right now? Jeez.
I could see
spicy.
Look,
Did the demons show it to you?
I'm just imagining a big risk board in my head. I'm not trying to wish anything on anyone.
Look, me and Lucie, you gotta understand, we're chess players.
Yeah.
We like speed chess.
We're cold and calculating.
We're like computers, like we're old computers. Like when you try to use the computer at your grandma's house, it's like, what is this? Windows 3.1? Jesus.
You're looking into my eyes, but I'm looking into yours through my drone.
Right.
And
from 2009.
My outdated drone. But
you only use it with an Amazon Fire tablet.
But yeah, I could see them kind of like maybe going out in a blaze, but then coming back.
Yeah,
they had some backup,
right?
Some subterranean backup or something, and they rebuild and they come back stronger.
You talk about Hamas helps them out in the tunnels. It's ironically that was these tunnels that keep taking. Well, they build the tunnels, and it's almost like Lord of the Rings when Aragorn or whatever gets the ghost pirates, whatever, in the mountains. All the ghosts of Hamas come back and help them, or the people of Gaza, or whatever. That would be interesting. Mm-hmm. That would be very interesting. I'm thinking more.
I can see them being a player.
No, they're definitely a player.
Maybe there are some mutations that took place.
Here's the thing. You're right to think your mind goes there because that's kind of what war is now. It's not about big fields with tanks and people. Some people go, well, it'll be back there. We just haven't had a big war yet. I don't know, maybe. But maybe everyone's going to be, it's kind of like when if I fire an EMP in the middle of a Amish country, or if I go back in time, it don't do nothing, right? Mm-hmm. An EMP, an electromagnetic pulse blast. But if I do that in the middle of Tokyo, whoa, boy. And you go, well, because you go, it's kind of like war. There'll be attacks, and like somebody will go, why don't you just unplug the goddamn thing? You can't. Everyone will be hooked in with their double-sized heads and their wings and stuff. And so we won't. And then so smaller countries will be able to fire Stuxnet type weapons, right? Mm-hmm. Like computer viruses are somehow actual viruses, right?
Right.
Imagine getting a virus, like imagine getting COVID that actually gives you a Trojan horse. And steals your AOL password or whatever, just what a whammy. Or imagine getting AIDS, but it destroys your, it really screws up your home smart home setup. I mean, if you were trying to set up a smart home, we have an apartment and I set it up, it's still a pain. I had to make a separate server. on a Raspberry Pi device to add because these lights I got weren't compatible. It's a whole pain in the ass. Imagine if I got AIDS and all of a sudden all that work was down the drain because the AIDS came with a computer virus.
Would that be worse than World War I?
I think it would. I mean, I'm there.
It does seem like it would be worse.
Yeah.
Like if everybody just started, if the next World War was just people dropping AIDS on each other.
Yeah. Look, they had mustard gas and stuff, but it didn't seem to really. They had like all sorts of things, but yeah, it wasn't.
That sounds tough.
No, those things they banned. Like they don't.
That'll make a greatest generation out of you.
Those things were so bad. They were like, look, I'm not gonna say we're never gonna do this again. We all know we might do this again, but if we get together. And we decided to go kill everyone, destroy each other again. We don't do that. We don't use mustard gas. We all. No one thought it was that bad. It's called mustard gas. We said. Mm-hmm. We all like mustard. Most of us, the Germans especially. We all like. Well, we love it on our wurst, on our kind of wurst, on our bratwurst. Mm. Terrible. Now I'm not even sure what it does. What does it even do? I forget. Mustard gas. Do you even know?
It's poison, right?
Well, yeah, but I think it's kind of thing where it's one of those things where I think like your eyes dilate and everything stops working in your body and you can't move, but you feel everything double. You feel everything and then your skin burns. It's one of those things where it's like it literally is like a demon.
Yeah,
it's like Doctor Strange, Sam Raimi one, real nasty. So World War IV. You go, oh, well, we already had mustard gas. I hear you. It matters. It's still, but imagine mustard gas, but also like the furnace in your house just fell apart. That would just be annoying, right?
Just annoying on top of dying. Yeah.
Imagine getting hit with like a VX nerve gas, but then the last thing you see before you die is like nude pictures of your wife getting leaked. Like what the. That's the kind of horror where it's going to be personal, and that's going to destroy morale. Yeah. Right. I mean, imagine if you're like, well, I'm prepared for that. I'm a Delta Force. I'm a Navy SEAL 6. I'm a big bad boy, just a Marine. I'm just a hardcore Marine jarhead, and I live my life knowing that's a thing because these hackers in the future, and they'll deep fake it, and then release it as you die. Imagine that. That's the kind of hard. Imagine knowing that you didn't partake in the fruits of the flesh as much as you could have, and they still did it to you with their computers. It's gonna be a technocratic. Who's the guy who made that painting when it was just the end of the world? Bosch.
Hieronymus
Bosch painting, but also Tron. That's what World War IV is going to be. It's gonna be. They're gonna drop. They're gonna seed the clouds with chloride. But also put lead in it. I think it's lead poisoning from the toxic rain. I'm extrapolating here, and you go, well, we're gonna, but that's not ready yet. I think. And that's why it's more interesting to kind of speculate about.
Yeah.
You're worried about, Iran and this and that, Israel. I'm worried about, are we going to tear a hole in hell? Like in Doom. Remember? Where they tear a hole in hell and then they start like pumping it for like fuel. They start pumping like, I think demons or something into a pipeline that like powers your iPad.
Oh, that's what they're doing in that game? They're using demon parts?
They call it Argent Energy, but I feel like it's probably just, crushed up demons. That's really what's more likely? They've mastered cold fusion, or you're just pumping demons into a lead acid battery. Occam's razor.
If demon bones, demon shit. Yeah. If these things were kind of a renewable source of energy.
Yeah.
I could see feeling an obligation to take it. Yeah.
Well, so did Dr. Hayden and many people in Doom, in 2016 Doom, and things inevitably go bad. Murphy's Law. Sometimes Murphy's Law means the hell takes over the astral plane, or was that? Are we the astral plane? I don't know how any of this works. I
guess you're supposed to fight the demons, not exploit them.
Yeah. No, as soon as you start, like, look, it's very virtuous to fight a demon or fight evil. But when you start trying to like make deals with, that's why making deals with the devil is such a, that's why if it's not real, there is a metaphorical, thing that makes sense to it. I'm not saying it's not, but there is a thing where it's like, oh, I see where you're getting at. You can't make a deal with the devil. You always get dicked, or whatever it goes. But it's been also very possible. It's like people are like, no, look, trust me, don't. He goes around with contracts for like land. The land is swampland. You can't build. They won't let you build on it. You can't. There's an easement from the military. He's fucking everyone. I lost my nest egg because of the devil. I don't know. I just don't know. I try to live my life as a good man as much as I can. Temptation abounds, but you try to stay on the path of the virtuous.
I feel like there is some kind of sixth sense that's dormant in you.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like you can see the future a little bit.
I feel like my best days are ahead of me. And I don't mean, but not for the world, but that's not because of me. But I feel like when bad things happen, maybe I can rise up and help people. Or lead a faction. Lead a faction of cybernetically augmented, like people who wouldn't normally be good soldiers. But we allied ourselves with technology and angels or fallen, or maybe demons, lesser demons.
Yeah,
I am gonna dabble. Perhaps if the World War IV breaks out, I might start dabbling. I don't want my family getting left behind every time there's an opportunity to make money. All right, I'm sick of being the only one who's like, "Well, I thought it was wrong." Like some priest is like, "Wait, you didn't sell any demon parts?" Like, the priest is telling me that. I'm the sucker. I'm always a sucker. Not anymore. All right. Well, thanks so much for tuning in, and hopefully this doesn't come to pass anytime soon. But you gotta be spiritually prepared. So thanks for tuning in, and have a great week.